The game which you had such high hopes for, how disappointing is it to come away with nothing?
We created the first chance to score with Maddison. Was a big save of Robert Sanchez, and then we one great goal because Enzo Fernandez is a big player. I think we could do something better. And then we stay inside of the game until the second goal. We lost a stupid ball. We conceded the second goal, but before to concede the second goal, we created a big chance with Richarlison. I think we played a good game, very good game. We lost, but now we have no time. It's not the right time to think too much of this game. We have to prepare the next game. We play in our stadium with our fans. We have to result on free with our qualities, with character, with pride, with courage. We have to play. But I'm positive because today we played a good game.
Chelsea's second goal came in the 67th minute when you had your triple substitution ready. Hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. Do you have any regrets about not making those substitutions earlier?
The ball was inside of the pitch, yes, 2 minutes before, but you know the physical condition of James Maddison is not available to play more than 20-25 minutes, and I was waiting to spend 2-3 minutes more and to make this change.
Yeah, you say James Maddison can only really do 20-25 minutes at the moment. With the impact that he had when he came on the pitch, can he play any more in your final game on Sunday?
Great impact, like Jed Spence and Pape Sarr, all three players. They came inside of the pitch very well. They changed the energy. The energy. James Maddison can't play more than 20-25 minutes because it's just 2-3 weeks with us, but it's important in the last 20 minutes.
You've talked a lot about psychology, mentality. How did you see the resilience of your players tonight when the goals were conceded? Do you have any concerns around that going into the final game?
I think we had a great reaction after first goal, after the second goal as well. I think in my time we made 8 points in 6 games. I think we deserve more points because we lost 2 points with Brighton, but now we have not to analyze nothing. We have to prepare the last game in the best way.
Have you seen enough in these performances to give you the confidence that you need on Sunday that Tottenham will survive this Premier League?
At the beginning of the game, yes. And the end of the game, the same. The last 20 minutes, I think we played with more qualities because Maddison is not a normal player for us. But yes, I think we are alive. We are with the right spirit. Normally we can't win every game, no, because if we stay in this place of the table, it's because we have had some problems, but I think we have all qualities to achieve our target.
Thanks for your time.
And consider
Jamie, there have been different managers in charge of Tottenham. So although we focused on Roberto De Zerbi at the end, he's coming in and trying to rescue Spurs from this situation.
Yeah, difficult.
People will point at what happened last season when they won a European trophy and they finished just outside the bottom 3. However, that plummet down the table came after Ange Postecoglou started resting players, started switching things up and decided, do you know what, I'm going to prioritise a trophy. So it's not necessarily a direct comparison last season to this one. Having said that, what's caused the problems? Are there longer-term problems that have caused Spurs malaise this time around?
Absolutely, Kelly. I mean, I don't know how long we got, but it's been
a good 10 minutes. We're good.
Is that what's sponsored?
And what's happened, Kelly?
Other watches are available.
I think what's compounded it is what you've seen tonight. You've seen a really well-run club in Arsenal winning the title, setting out to become a champion, finding ways, buying the best players, not going into the market thinking, oh, well, actually, he'll do all right, can make a jigsaw puzzle here, maybe he'll be okay, or how much is he going to cost? Well, you look at the Cronkies, they've gone, right, we need to achieve something here. Get Declan Rice. We need a centre forward. Regardless of how well he's done, we go Gyökeres. Tottenham, on the other hand, have tried to do it in such a different way. And you get what you deserve in football. Last year wasn't a coincidence. And what Ange has actually done, and we give him a lot of criticism, was a miracle, really. He's ended up winning a trophy. But they are sleepwalking. I said it earlier this season, to relegation. The only thing that saved him is they've had a couple of good results. Well, I say good. They beat Wolves and they beat Aston Villa, who had 7 players out at the time. Now they've got to find a way to win a game at home. When their home form has been so bad this season, it's been horrendous all year. They've not had any quality, no character to win a football match. Now they've got to find a way to beat Everton. And David Moyes will be fuming after the weekend, and he'll be going there thinking, we've got to get something out of this game. I'd rather be playing Leeds at home than I would Everton. I feel really sorry for the fans because they don't deserve what they've had to put up with, what's been served this season. It's been absolutely diabolical. And if they do get relegated, it's nothing more than they deserve because they've been awful all season. You know, you can blame... Too many people blame Thomas Frank. It's not right to blame Thomas Frank. It's not right to blame Igor Tudor. The people that employed them are the people you should be looking at because it hasn't worked. So let's not be saying, you know, even he's come in and he's done okay. De Zerbi had a couple of decent results, but he's gone to Chelsea and they've got chinned. They've had other games when it's not been great. But no, not good enough. And I think they're still stacked by the skin of their teeth? Because I think there's a chance they can maybe draw the weekend. Can they win? I don't think this team...
They've not won at home since December.
But even before that, Kel, I think they've probably won two games at home this season. They've got the best away record. If they were going away to get to Everton, I think maybe got more chance. But they might somehow get a draw and just escape from their skin of their teeth. Can you imagine North London, if Arsenal win the title and Tottenham go down, how that will feel to the Tottenham fans? And they don't deserve that.
So what needs to change, Jamie? What would you change?
Well, I think there's so many... I think that the owners really probably looking at it now thinking, we haven't got this right. You know, they spent a lot of money and there are rumours that they'd like to sell if they could. And if they were to do that, because everything is in place. It's got an incredible fan base. It's got an amazing stadium, amazing training ground. But if you haven't got the players to fill that, and I said it last year, Tottenham has become a brilliant entertainment business. They get the best American football. They get Beyonce there. But this is the only club that does that. And people will say, well, that's great business. And everyone kept telling me how well they run the club. But it's a football club. And in England, we do football. We don't do the American-style entertainment. So if you're going to get invested into a football club, you've got to run it the right way. I don't see Arsenal having, you know, too many games or doing too many things like that and setting their...
Other clubs do have gigs at their stadium.
But not to the extent what Tottenham do. They're a business and a football club. I don't look at them and think you're a serious football club right now. And that's what they've got. That's how I see it. And I played there. I know I was in the dressing rooms and I saw and I felt when I was there... How do I put this? I felt that there was a lack of ambition at that club. And it hasn't changed. I've seen it. And people say, well, they've come close at times. But when they've ever got really close, they never really went for it. So they're getting what they deserve. And people say, well, you always have a gut. No, I don't. I'm just saying it as it is. The only thing that surprised me is how long it's taken to get to this position they're in right now. But I still think they'll stay up, Kel.
Defeat for Chelsea this evening means that it will go down to the wire for both Spurs.
Roberto De Zerbi already on the front foot talking about the opportunity that awaits them on Sunday in front of their own fans, and we'll come to that. Reminder of the scenario. Spurs have that 2-point cushion and a point would be enough to see them survive whatever happens with West Ham United. West Ham United have to win to have any impact on Spurs at all. They play Leeds on the final day. So what factors do we need to take into account here, Michael? Spurs don't have to go out and force the issue against Everton, or do they?
No, I mean, if you ask West Ham now, could we be in Spurs' position, they would bite your hand off. You know, it's still in Spurs' hands. They know they have to get a point, regardless of what happens at the London Stadium, and West Ham take it on Leeds. And that's why he's so calm and he's got that belief. When he came through the Tottenham Hotspur door with 7 games to go, he always had that belief. And he's never, when people have doubted him and the team, he's always come out pretty bullish and come out fighting. And even tonight, he spoke about his team, he talked about the mistake, but he still tries to find positives and says it's still in our hands, and it is.
But I've got to remind you as well, you know, he talks about the comfort of being in front of their own fans, but he hasn't actually won a game at home yet. Their last win at home was one of the 2 they've had all season, was back in December. So it hasn't been a bed of roses at home.
No, against Crystal Palace a long time ago in 2025. Quite remarkable when you say that. You know, so that is a huge concern, and the Spurs fans have to get behind this group of players on Sunday, regardless of what is going off at the London Stadium. If West Ham go ahead, you will feel the tension, you'll feel the nerves. Last thing they need is Everton scoring and thinking, right, we have to score a goal. So they have to try and keep as calm as they can. And that is what Roberto is doing in the media. Whenever you hear him come out, he's very confident. And he always backs the players. He always talks about belief. He always talks about confidence and a mentality of no one comes into training. And I bet he said it in that change room there. You come in tomorrow, we prepare for Sunday, we go out fighting. And like I say, he's still in their hands to get that 1 point.
Let's talk about some positives as well, Daniel. From what we saw tonight, could Matisse Tell be somebody that if they need to score, they might not have to score on Sunday? Could this be the guy that gets them going up the pitch?
Yeah, he's got a spark about him, hasn't he? He's playing with confidence when he gets the ball. They need to feed him more, I would say, and try and make him go on mazy runs. Put some protection around him in regards to if he loses it, you've got players who are counter-pressing to ensure that. But I would give him the freedom because tonight he definitely was the bright spot for them. He was trying to make things happen, of course. Was the final ball good enough? It wasn't. But that Richarlison chance he created was a very good chance for Richarlison. He should have done better with it, at least hit the target. So you're thinking going into that game, he's probably thinking, you know, I can get a goal on the weekend. I think he's going to have confidence. Maddison coming on, I can create something. I can get something going. And even Richarlison, you know, he's capable of scoring goals. The guys have to go into it with confidence. The manager said in his thing, got to show character, courage, be positive. Those are the things they're going to need. He's talking about moving on tonight. Forget, you know, even digressing what's going on, talking about this game. Move on, boys. We've got a big game on the weekend. We've got to be positive about that. It's in our hands, but ultimately, the players have to deliver, don't they? Like, that's the end of it.
And you feel sure that James Maddison is going to have to have a say somewhere along the line here for Spurs. We can get his reaction now with Emma Saunders.
Well, James, thanks for coming to speak to us. With points so valuable at this stage in the season, how disappointing is it to come away with nothing tonight?
Yeah, obviously very disappointing. Yeah, we knew obviously any sort of result tonight would be very beneficial for us in the battle. It wasn't to be. We pushed hard in the last 20 minutes. Probably was quite a fair, even game, I thought. I mean, I don't remember them having many chances. And we're on the wrong side of another one, yeah, so it's disappointing.
Yeah, take us inside that moment when you stood on the side of the pitch, part of that triple substitution. The board's more or less about to go up, and then Chelsea find that second. Like, what was going through your head?
Yeah, it's obviously an awful time to then you want to get on the pitch at 1-0 and try and affect it. Especially as an attacking player, you know, at 1-0, one moment couldn't bring you back in the game, and it's obviously a lot more difficult at 2-0. So yeah, it makes it a lot more challenging. So it's a bit of a dagger as you're about to come on. Yeah.
What's it like for you coming into these last few games? Tonight you've got 20, 25 minutes under your belt with so much at stake in a season that you've largely missed. I mean, the mental side of it must weigh so heavily, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been out for a long time, so I'm not going to be at my fluent best. I feel good. I just got to try and help the team with whatever minutes I can. Obviously, I've had a massive injury, so it's one of them. You have to respect the injury a little bit. That's why I'm probably not starting the games. But been out for a long time. But I'm going to do what I can on Sunday, and obviously did tonight. It wasn't enough, but we've got to keep trying and keep battling for our fans. Yeah.
Yeah, you've come on tonight, you've helped change that game. You could feel the enthusiasm from the Spurs fans in the stands that you were on the pitch. Can you feel that responsibility? Is it something that you're relishing going into that final day to try and make an impact?
Yeah, of course, that's my job. That's what I'm paid to do. I've obviously had a massive injury, which has meant I haven't played this season. But whenever I do play, that's my job. As the attacking players, that's what we've got to do. We probably haven't been good enough going forward this season. That's the reality. Just a bit of lack of quality in the final moments, and I think that showed tonight. And I think that's something that I can bring. So hopefully when I'm on the pitch and whatever minutes I can get, I've just got to try and help the team with that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've come into us tonight from the treatment room, having had a bit of recovery, I'm sure, already. How do you see how much you can give on Sunday? As we've mentioned, 25 minutes tonight. The manager says at the moment it could be looking the same. How do you see it?
Well, anyone who's worked in football or has been through this injury, it's not as easy to just drop back in. Obviously, it'd be catastrophic for my career if something was to happen, if we weren't safe or we didn't follow the protocol from the specialists. But yeah, obviously, I want to help the team as much as I can. So let's just see where we get to.
And how do the team see this challenge on the final day against Everton?
We just got to give everything for this club, for the badge, for our fans. It's unacceptable and a little bit embarrassing that we're in this position at Tottenham Hotspur, but it's the reality, unfortunately, and it's up to us to get out of it. And Sunday's going to be a big day, so we're going to need everyone. We're going to need our fans, who are absolutely unbelievable today, by the way. Even at 2-0 down, you could just hear them. I genuinely think we've got the best away support in the league, and we need to repay them with a good performance and some points on Sunday to secure Premier League survival. Yeah.
And from what you've seen on the sidelines and now experience coming into this team, do you feel like you've got enough as a group to get this over the line on Sunday?
Yeah, it's non-negotiable. We have to for this club. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time.
He will be giving absolutely everything as well. Just talk to us, Daniel, about that, what he's going through right now, having had, as he kept saying, a serious injury. He's been out for 375 days before we saw him off the bench last week. And now, as soon as because we see him, there is that expectation straight away that he's going to deliver.
Yeah, and I've had my fair share of injuries, so I don't know exactly what he's going through psychologically, because he's had an injury that's a lot more length of time than mine were. But I think in his situation, what's difficult for him is he wants to help. And he knows he's got the capabilities, like he was saying. I know I'm the creative source for the team and I want to be out there, but a specialist has put a protocol in place, which is what he's just said. And is it worth the risk for his long-term career is kind of where his head's at. It's like, I've got a football club who's paying my wages, who I love playing for. I love the fans, I love my teammates and everyone involved, and I want to help. But ultimately, I've got an injury that has to be respected. So that's the catch-22, and that's when football for footballers becomes so difficult, because you love the game, right? And you want to play, you want to be on the pitch, you want to give everything. And then it's like, but it is my job as well. And it's my livelihood. And I've got kids that I'm going to have in the future, and I want to be able to walk for them, and I want to be... And that's... I know it might seem like it's not that type of situation, but Dorsh, you know what I mean? You've been there, it's difficult, do you know what I mean?
So what do they do with him on Sunday then?
I don't see James Maddison starting, no chance. You listen to Roberto De Zerbi there talking about he could play 25 minutes. Maybe, if needed, could he play 45 at a push? But you listen to James Maddison there, as much as he wants to help, he'll have been in that treatment room, he will have felt so down, not just because he's missing out on playing football, the fact that this football club that he's at is in such a situation, and he talks about how embarrassing it is for the second season running to see Spurs sitting in this position, but he can't help it.
But he is in a position that he can do something about it, unlike Kudus, unlike Kulusevski, unlike Romero now as well. Do they have to hold him back though?
Yeah, you're listening
for
there.
His own good.
Yeah, you do. You can't take a chance. And do you know what? When you've been out that long, are you Matt Sharpness? Maybe he might be better in coming on as an impact player.
Yeah. And you see the difference that he does make whenever he's on the field.
He makes a huge difference, Dave. No doubt about it. When he's fit, he walks into this team. Any position in there, and he does make a difference. He's so calm, he gets on the ball. See watching up here. He goes, he's telling everywhere to move. He's got that character. He's a leader. But what he does do, he takes the ball in areas and he tries to create.
The hard bit for me is he's 2 games in a week for him. Yeah. That's the biggest challenge more than anything. So we'll see how it pans out.
It goes to the final day. Still Spurs with that 2-point cushion and with a better goal difference. So as I say, 1 more point will do it. They're at home to Everton. West Ham have to beat Leeds on the final day. So whilst we might not have the drama at the top of the table, we certainly have it at the bottom, and we have a nervous day at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, they've struggled all season, but to get a point at home to Everton, who have nothing to play for, manager in David Moyes, is an old Everton manager, West Ham manager. You know, as much as he won't admit it, there's nothing more that he would like to put West Ham into the Championship for the way they treated him, because it wasn't very nice, in my opinion. You know, he rushed him out of town, really. You know, we want better football, we want this, we want that. The guy won a European trophy with you. So I think that...
You think Spurs get the job done?
I'm not saying he won't motivate his players. Of course he will. Of course he will.
Do you think Spurs get the job done on Sunday?
I could not count on it. I really couldn't, because their home form's been so bad this season, and the way they perform in front of their home fans is just a disaster, because they really haven't got the characters amongst that squad. But they need to find them on Sunday. They need to find something. I think the manager's the right man. I think he will galvanise them as much as he possibly can. But once they cross that line, Steve, they're on their own. They're on their own. And if the sun's not shining, if there's no obstacles in the way, you know, and after all of a sudden, you know, West Ham score down the road, the pressure, the anxiety breathes to that pitch. They play at the moment with no anxiety, you would think, and they're a disaster. These group of players have been shocking all season.
And if that potential scenario plays out, we've seen the tension in that stadium. As Tim says, we've seen the results. They've only won twice at home all season.
Yeah, and like you said, they've got no experience in this scenario. And we always talk about experience counts for something at the top. It definitely counts for a lot at the bottom as well. So, yeah, if West Ham go ahead or Spurs go behind, that isn't going to bode well in regards to the anxiety and the feeling and the nervous energy that's going to creep from the fans onto the pitch and vice versa, and all of a sudden players don't want the ball. And we often talk about bravery and you relate it to tackles, but it's going to relate to people personality getting on the ball.
The funny thing is, I think everybody says you want it in your own hands.
Yeah.
And Spurs have got it in their own hands. But I actually think their best chance of staying up has nothing to do with them. It's probably West Ham not being able to beat Leeds. That could be their best chance. I mean, Spurs are so bad that they're probably being in their own hands is probably, you know, it's irrelevant. And it might be that they don't win or don't pick up a draw, but nor can West Ham, so we'll see.
A miserable record here at Stamford Bridge just continues. That said, Daniel, did Chelsea actually deserve the victory?
They did. They first half particularly, they were really good. Cole Palmer picking up really good pockets, and they defended really well, very structured. Second half comes again, decisive moment in the second half from Enzo Fernandez with a great assist. So all in all, for me, I think the framework was really good. Before the game, you know, I said I felt like Chelsea, it would have been their night, because you raise your level, knowing this is your last home game and knowing what's at stake. You lost the final, you want to bounce back from that psychologically as well. So, you know, for me, I didn't doubt Chelsea tonight. It was more questions about Spurs for me, and they didn't answer them.
What was missing from Spurs then, Michael? Because we've seen them win back-to-back games away from home at Wolves and at Aston Villa, and then get that point against Leeds. Was this just a step up in class?
Yeah, I think it was. You look at the creativity that Chelsea have in the final third. It was way more than what Spurs had. You know, and you see when Maddison comes on, you see when Pape Sarr comes on, you see when even Jed Spence at a left back, how more creative they were. They had more opportunities. But when you gift them the second goal, while it was only 1-0, they were always had that little bit of hope. And you see the three warming up, and then they get the goal. Santos gets the second, and then it's a huge climb. But I just always felt that Chelsea had that clinical moment in the final third. I thought it would be them that would be able to create a better chance.
Well, we saw it. We saw how clinical they were in the first 20 minutes. What do you think Spurs might have been able to do here to prevent this goal from Enzo Fernandez?
Yeah, I mean, when you reflect on it and see the pick it up, Palmer in a great position, he goes into to Pedro Neto, and then you look how deep they are, and it's the fact that he's so far out, and it's Bentancur, he sort of goes to, if you can just get in line with the ball, but it's a fact that he runs past it. Kinski's there trying to set, he just takes one step back, we're going to see in a minute, he makes another step as it's left Enzo's boot. There you go, he's still not got his feet grounded. So for him to generate that power, and yes, the ball might move in his defence, but the fact that he's going back, I mean, he's a long way out, Enzo, and you see it go behind Bentancur and it goes over Danzo's shoulder. The fact that it's not right in the corner, I just don't think Kinski was set right.
It just feels like where it goes is the least likely place for that ball to go with all those bodies in the way.
It is, but as a keeper, you have to be set and expect the unexpected. So when he's not set and then he makes another step as the ball is travelling and then he can't generate the power to get to his right-hand post. And people question it for how far out he is and the fact that it's not right in the corner. I mean, I take nothing away from the strike. And Bentancur there, his momentum is taking him across. So Kinski doesn't think it can go in that corner. He's probably thinking it's going to go in the top left-hand corner.
The way the ball shapes it, I mean, it goes like a Jimmy Anderson away swinger, Daniel, away from Kinski. Is that because of the way that he strikes it?
Yeah, the thing is, when you look at the ball, there's not a ton of movement. Sometimes you see it and it moves all over the place and you go, whoa, he's wobbled that. He had no chance. Whereas with that, it looks like he's got an opportunity to save it, which makes it look a strange goal from the distance. But you got to give credit to Enzo, because to be able to get it on target, to, create a moment, to time it perfectly, to get it just behind Bentancur, to, confuse the goalkeeper, as you would say. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people watching thinking, could have done way better there. But I have to give credit to the attackers, because for me, you're hitting a target from 25 yards out, you're giving a question to the goalkeeper, is he going to answer the question? Yes or no? Do your job? He didn't do his job, bro. I take a goal all day.
Enzo did his job. He's now got 10 for the season. It's been a really good return for him. The next goal in the contest felt absolutely...
he's wobbled that. He had no chance. Whereas with that, it looks like he's got an opportunity to save it, which makes it look a strange... There'll be a lot of people watching thinking, could have done way better there. But I have to give credit to the attackers, because for me, you're hitting a target from 25 yards.
The contest felt absolutely crucial.
Yeah, and it was a poor goal to concede, to be honest. Obviously... brother, you'd better connect with this ball properly, which he does. And of course, it goes into the bottom corner.
And people will say, where's your right back? Because Kolo Muani had such good control of the ball, Pedro Porro is flying down the right-hand side. So you're going, look, they've overloaded on the back post and Pedro Porro can't get back. If you give the ball away in that position and your full-backs are so high, you're always going to be vulnerable, and then you get punished, and then it was a huge mountain to climb for Spurs.
You got to give credit to Enzo. Some players there would have taken a shot. To have the ability to delicately control it and guide it to your teammate and allow for him literally just to have an open net, pretty much. So I'll give credit to him.
And for the finish as well from Andres Santos.
Yes.
Jamie said it was a bit scruffy on commentary.
No.
It didn't look like he just had to keep his calm and just guide it. Talk me through it, Daniel.
Yeah, of course, it's on his weaker foot. But I mean, for me, right, when you're looking at guys, he wants to score as the midfielder. You're getting in the box. You've got 3 guys all calling for the ball back stick. Being in the middle of the posts is where you score your goals, as in any position. You can be a left-back, centre-half, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are. If you get yourself in the post when a cross is coming into the box, you've got a high possibility or probability of scoring a goal. Positions himself great, gets the connection, all he needs, and it goes into the back of the net.
You were feeling the worst at that point, weren't you? As probably most Spurs fans were watching at home. But the lifeline came. At that point, did you think, there could be something on here for Spurs?
I did, and the 3 guys that I've mentioned with Papsar, Jed Spence, and then the man that changed the game, in my opinion, and gives Spurs any hope in getting back to it was James Maddison. I mean, they win the ball back there, Pedro Porro, that's your right back. And then can you pick someone out? Yes, I mean, Papsar, I've said, very fortunate. I think he was going for goal, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and that's what they were. And then you had a little bit of belief with 15 minutes to go, and then your time added on. Could they get back into it, and could they get a chance? And I touched on James Maddison. I'm a huge fan of him, and he's been massively missed along with Kulusevski, Kudos, Dom Solanke for large periods, and now Xavi Simons in the latter stage. So it's a big bonus for James Maddison to be back involved. Is he going to play the whole game at the weekend? I very much doubt it. But when you've got that quality on the bench, he's certainly going to have an important role to play on Sunday.
We'll come to that. There's an important incident we also need to clear up as well. 5 minutes from the end of normal time, there was a very vociferous claims from Spurs for a penalty. And I think that's probably what they were protesting about at the final whistle as well. You saw how upset James Maddison and Mickey van der Ven in particular were. Mickey van der Ven is right at the centre of this, because he gets bundled over in the middle of the goal here by Cucurella. There we are, we've blown it up for you. And the reason we're freezing it at this point is because you can see at this point the ball has not come into play from the corner. And I suppose had it happened a second later, had that foul happened a second later, there would be no reason why Stuart Atwell wouldn't give penalty.
Yeah, completely agree. You know, we had to go back and watch this numerous times, and the fact that he's blown just as the ball's coming in, he throws it before he was going down. I mean, I was there thinking, is this going to be a penalty? VAR cleared up, said he'd already committed the foul and he'd been booked before the ball was actually in play. I can understand Spurs' frustration because your emotions are high, you're hoping for,
Here we go, Michael.
anything.
Direct and indirect free kicks and penalty kicks can only be awarded for offences committed when the ball is in play. So that is what they've been referring to there this evening. And I suppose when your luck is out, your luck is out.
I mean, and Cucurella's lucky because he wasn't facing the ball. You know, imagine if you know, it is 1 second difference, then it's a guaranteed penalty. So you can count himself lucky. But you know what, Dos? I want to know, why are they defending like that? Why are people defending like that these days? Because things have changed, right? Since we were playing for sure. Why do they do this?
Well, the only way you're going to stop it is give penalties. Obviously, the ball wasn't in the player, but we've seen Enzo doing it at this end in the first half. It baffles me. We saw the incident with West Ham the other week, and had the free kick not been given on Raya, Declan Rice was holding, Trossard was holding. You've got to look at the ball. It winds me up as a defender and going, look, I was never strong enough to hold anyone, Studs, you know that. But it's like, look at the ball.
You held me.
Look at the ball, see your man and see the ball. You have to see all angles. You can't just look at the forward or attacking player and take your eyes off the ball. Until that's stopped and referees start giving penalties, they will keep doing it. I do not like it.
Maybe a rule change is coming next season. We will see. There were other chances for Spurs in this game. It is the concern, Michael, that there just isn't a sharp enough attack here that they've got when they need it. When they are conceding 2 goals, have they got enough to go and get something?
No, I don't think they have, and I think I've probably said this for an awful lot of the season. You know, that real creativity, you know, with Kulusevski. You can talk about injuries, but I look at Mawani, I look at Telly. I think Telly's his game has come, I really do. He didn't start the first couple of games under Roberto De Zerbi when he came in, but it's just that cutting edge, that out-and-out 10. He goes with the 3 in midfield, and you look at them, there's not a James Maddison, there's not a Xavi Simons, and not a Kulusevski. Those players that are so key in the fact of giving you a chance to win a game. And this was Maddison, lends the ball. I just wondered, Daniel, is that sharpness when it comes here? I mean, I love watching James Maddison. That one step.
Could he have taken it a bit earlier?
He's steadying himself. Yeah. Steadying himself to ensure he gets the right purchase on the shot. He could have took it in his stride, right? But to be honest, I've done that exact step because it steadies your body. It gets you in that mode where you're thinking, OK, I can really go through with this. Where sometimes when you take that first touch, then it's almost like you're just taking it with the next step. You're not set fully, so you don't get the right connection a lot of the time, especially on your weaker foot. Psychologically, you almost think, I've got to steady myself and ensure I get the right connection, which it looks like he did.
It was a great tackle, take nothing away from Hato. For him to come from that side to make that decision to come across, brilliant tackle.
Yeah, important moment.
You made no bones about it pre-match with us. It was must win. How pleased are you to get that over the line tonight?
Yeah, delighted. I thought it was, sometimes it wasn't pretty, it wasn't what we wanted it to look like, but it was needs must. You could see the physical and emotional load that City had against us in the cup final. So we needed to show grit, determination, things that have been questioned in this team before. And I've said from the minute I've stepped into this role, I've not questioned that once. And I think we saw that tonight. I'm really proud of the group.
Yeah, that grit, determination. Do you think it translated to discipline by and large in that you really limited Spurs to very little until that last portion of the game?
Yeah, we knew we weren't going to be able to match them for energy and intensity for 90 minutes. We would have periods where we could. I thought in the first half we showed a lot of quality. We played some lovely stuff. We had good energy, good enthusiasm, but you could see from minute 1 there were some lads that were still feeling Wembley. So we knew there were going to be moments where we had to dig in, we had to defend our box, we had to fight, and I'm just as proud of that as we are of the lovely football we play at times.
Yeah, whilst you've managed to see it out, I suppose your critical eye, if you're looking at that last 15-minute period or so, where do you think Spurs were able to kind of creep back into the game a bit?
I don't know when their last game was, but it wasn't on Saturday, so they've got a lot. Your Enzo Fernandez, we've got Cucurella, we've got Jero Hato, we've got Wesley Fofana. So many lads that put in a real shift at Wembley, went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in Europe, could have won on the day. So it's natural that they're going to have those moments. I don't think there was anything we could have done. They're going to have the energy and we just have to dig in and fight in those moments. And we got the 2-goal lead and we defended it well.
Yeah, he's acquitted himself very well, hasn't he? And this is how Chelsea looked in 8th, which, if they were there on the final day, would be a place in the Europa Conference League. 7th place would be Europa League, and 6th would be Europa League, unless Aston Villa were to finish in 5th and win tomorrow night. Are you following, Daniel? Right, so there's a lot can happen on the final day. Chelsea go to Sunderland with a potential really of finishing between 7th and still, in effect, the bottom half. So what do you think would be a good outcome for Chelsea from here? And particularly considering a new manager is coming in, and you've either got Xabi Alonso playing 1 game a week and working a lot on the training ground, or you've got him playing most Thursdays.
Now, I would say for preparation and for taking in tactics and things of that nature, 1 game a week is the best thing. But if we're being honest, at a club like Chelsea, you need to be in Europe. And the Europa League is obviously the one they'd want to be in, which if they win that, they secure Champions League place. So I think that would be the competition that they'd be fighting for, absolutely.
Have we seen signs, even in their difficult times this year, that there is a bright future? The owners are convinced of it. They're trying to do it in a sustainable way. And now they feel that perhaps they have the leader to guide them.
I think they've certainly got the leader to guide them. I think it's a really good appointment. And, you know, he's coming as manager and not as coach. Do I see the model changing? I think it'll have to change ever so slightly with Xabi Alonso coming in. I think he'll try and go and sign some players with experience. But I think he's got a group already that he's coming into. And to answer your questions, probably looking at the conference, Europa Conference, he can put his B team out to go and win that. I do believe that with the squad that Chelsea have got here. So he will want to get his philosophy across, and we saw what he did at Leverkusen. Obviously, Real Madrid wasn't quite the same, but he's got a big job coming here. But I think he's a great appointment from Chelsea.
Maybe just 1 or 2 experienced bodies. Keep the phone on, Daniel. Who knows?
Call me.
That's the Enzo Fernandez celebration. It's time to go. We promised we'd come off air before the final day on Sunday, so we'll park it there now. Michael, thank you very much